Have you ever noticed something weird? A person can lie to you, ignore you, break your trust, make you cry at 2 a.m. while you stare at the ceiling like a disappointed philosopher, and somehow, your brain still goes, yeah, but I miss them. Why? Like seriously, why do we miss people who hurt us? Why do we replay old memories like our brain is running a best moments compilation, while completely ignoring the emotional damage? It makes no sense. It's like missing a mosquito because it used to sing near your ear every night. But here's the truth nobody talks about. Sometimes we don't miss the person, we miss the feeling they gave us. And once you understand it, everything starts making sense. Because humans are emotional creatures. Very emotional. We say things like, I'm done. I'll never talk to them again. They're dead to me. And then 3 days later we're checking if they viewed our story. Human beings are adorable and embarrassing at the same time. See, when someone becomes part of your daily life, your brain creates emotional habits around them. Good morning texts, late night calls, random memes, that one person you immediately wanted to tell things to. Even small routines become emotional glue. So when they disappear, your brain reacts almost like withdrawal. Not because they were perfect, not because they were good for you, but because they became familiar. And the human brain loves familiar things. Even painful familiar things. That's why people stay in toxic relationships longer than they should. That's why some people go back to friendships that drained them. That's why we sometimes miss people who treated us badly. Because uncertainty feels scarier than pain we already understand. Read that again mentally. The brain often chooses familiar pain over unfamiliar peace. Crazy, right? And here's another reason. Your brain doesn't store relationships like a courtroom. It stores them like a movie trailer. It highlights the emotional scenes. The laughs. The hugs. The moments where they made you feel special. Meanwhile, the painful memories slowly fade into the background. That's why after a breakup, people suddenly remember the way they smiled, the way they laughed, the way they said my name. But your brain conveniently forgets the disrespect, the manipulation, the emotional exhaustion. Your mind literally edits the story like a Netflix documentary. And loneliness makes this even worse. Because loneliness is sneaky. When you feel lonely, your brain starts romanticizing people who were never actually good for you. Suddenly the bare minimum feels magical. He listened to me. Yeah, once every 6 business days. She cared about me. Did she? Or did she just reply, lol, to your trauma? Sometimes we confuse emotional intensity with genuine love. That's important. Just because someone made you feel strong emotions doesn't mean they were healthy for you. Roller coasters are exciting too. You still don't build a house on one. And let's talk about hope. Hope is beautiful, but sometimes it traps us. A lot of people don't miss who someone truly was. They miss who they hoped that person would become. That version in their head. The potential. The maybe one day. Maybe one day they'll change. Maybe one day they'll apologize. Maybe one day things will finally feel different. But sometimes, maybe one day quietly steals years of your life. That's the painful part. You can love someone deeply, and still admit they were bad for your peace. Because moving on isn't just losing a person. Sometimes it's losing the future you imagined with them. That dream version, that fake little movie you created in your head. The vacations, the conversations, the happy ending. Meanwhile reality was standing there like, hello, are we ignoring these red flags or what? And the worst part, our ego gets involved too. Sometimes we miss people because rejection bruises our pride. You start wondering, why wasn't I enough? What did I do wrong? Why did they choose someone else? And suddenly it becomes less about love, and more about validation. Humans naturally crave emotional closure. But life doesn't always give clean endings. Sometimes people leave without explanation. Sometimes they change overnight. Sometimes they hurt you and continue living peacefully while you're sitting there listening to sad songs like the main character of a low-budget movie. That's frustrating. But healing begins when you stop asking, why do I miss them? And start asking, what exactly am I missing? The person, or the comfort, the attention, the routine, the fantasy, the validation, the version of yourself that existed around them. Because those are different things. Very different things. And here's something powerful most people realize too late. Missing someone is not a sign you should go back. Let's repeat that louder for the people checking old chats at midnight. Missing someone does not automatically mean they belong in your life. You can miss people and still choose yourself. You can love someone and still walk away. That's maturity. That's growth. Because healing isn't about pretending you never cared. It's about the understanding that caring for someone should never require destroying yourself. And slowly, with time, your brain starts calming down. The emotional addiction fades. The memories stop hitting as hard. You stop checking their profile. You stop rereading old messages. You stop imagining fake reunion scenarios in the shower. And one random day, you realize something strange. You survived. Without them, the world didn't end. Your heart didn't permanently break. Life kept moving. And suddenly the person who once felt impossible to lose becomes just a chapter. An important one, a painful one, maybe even a beautiful one. But still, just a chapter. So if you currently miss someone who hurt you, don't feel ashamed. You're human. Your heart is simply trying to hold on to what once felt meaningful. But remember this, not everyone you miss deserves a return ticket into your life. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is miss them, learn from them, and keep walking forward. Because peace may feel unfamiliar at first, but eventually, it feels a lot better than pain disguised as love.